Yo, 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 yo. Well, I don't know if it's the place to be, but it is the place we at. You have many, uh, no new elliptical. Um, I gotta find the guy's number who took out my old couch. He was great. What up, Cigarette Bones Jones? And I got him off of Yelp, so I mean, it's an eyesore for sure. But Gina Bobina, Kip Smith. I mean, we're going right up against MLC with special guest Felicia. So I'm humbled and honored that you guys would give me your presence. I'm an AEW guy. You know that, Ryan. I don't watch WWE. I hear it was good though. Like from all my friends who watch WWE, they loved it. So I know John Cena returned, but I watched Collision. I don't know. I think of AEW like my wayward son, and I root for it. Um, so I just don't. I mean, I root for Cody Rhodes, uh, and that's about it. Well, that's the way I like it. You know, we're a small but humble stream, and you guys are helping me grow my channel. I appreciate that very much. I'm cranking out short after short after short. I think I put out 3 shorts today. I'm going to bombard YouTube until I crack the fucking algorithm. Bench warmers because I was in it. I mean, I love David Spade as a person. You know, he's always nice to me when I see him, but I'm not really a fan of his movies, to be honest. But I'm sure he'll live. Yes, happy birthday to Pauly Shore. We were on the same lineup last night. Great show last night at the Comedy Store at 12:15. They weren't that far behind last night, so I got to go up at a passable hour. And Polly was there, and then I'm not saying I don't like Spade's films. I just, Tommy Boy was pretty funny. I never really saw Joe Dirt. Um, and I mean, David Spade did judge one of my roast battles on television. So I think he judged my battle with Tom Ballard with Kevin Hart. Jeremy Allen White's bulge in today's shorts. Say it ain't so, big Earl. I was walking with Lois, and I don't know, man. I just, you're gonna take an underwear photo. You better have your hog large and in charge. Um, yeah, I'm not saying his movies aren't good. I don't know. I really stopped seeing movies the last 20 years. Were you there when they brought the cake to the stage? No, I was there. My spot was, I think it was Paulie, Rick Ingram, Eleanor, George Perez, and then me. So as you guys know, I don't watch comedy. So I was just running around. I saw an old friend of mine and a particular ex, so we caught up. And then that's about it. No, I'm not prude, Moses. I just don't like watching stand up. I want to do it. I don't want to watch it. It's like the complete opposite of streams. Like I watch a lot of streams, but I also like doing streams. So, but Paulie was there. He was in good spirits. And, the Comedy Store on Saturday nights, pretty good. So it's always a fun time. Everyone's in a good mood usually on Saturday night. There's no drama. And the back bar was filled. Yeah, hit the like, pretty please. Hit the subscribe button. I think we got some new lurkers in the stream. Just ate some yams. I ordered a egg white omelet with hash browns and an English muffin, and the guy brought the wrong order. So I ate a Caesar salad chicken wrap, and I feel bad because I got someone else's order. They also gave me a protein bowl. So I feel bad for the person who's going to get the egg white omelet. They're going to be like, what the fuck? I'm going to go to the gym in about an hour. I got to wait for the food to settle, And then I'll probably take Lois for another long walk. I mean, Lois, I took her for about a 2 hour walk. I mean, her dogs be barking. Do you ever eat junk food? Not really. I mean, I had the chips that were with the chicken wrap or the Caesar's wrap, and that's like a major like. I never have chips, but there weren't that many. Yeah, we welcome the trolls in here. I've never met a troll that's funnier than me, and as long as you don't do the N-word towers or just some random gibberish, we don't block or limit what you can say in here. I want everyone to have fun in here. We're not talking about fucking Ray DeVito or Dabblecon or we're just talking babies and get those watch hours up. The set last night was very good. I did about 45 minutes. I would say about 60% of the crowd. When I walked on stage, there was about 60% audience. So I had a good time. And then my buddy, who I hadn't seen in a while, talked me into going to the Body Shop. I hate strip clubs. It's like going to a restaurant when you're hungry, but you're not going to order anything. And of course, when I walk in, who would I see but Pauly Shore? So, but this place was packed. I mean, 60% is a good turnout considering it was when I got on stage probably about 12:45. Um, yeah, I mean, last night the crowd was pretty good. I mean, George Perez is a killer, Eleanor's a killer, Rick Ingram's a killer. The crowd was, you could tell they were still gushing over seeing Pauly. So I had a pretty good set. I wasn't killing like Joey Diaz, but I was doing well. And, um, there's not, when I do comedy, I analyze my set 3 different times. I analyze it while I'm on stage. I'm always quick thinking, oh man, I'm bombing. Oh man, I'm doing well. Oh man, this joke should have been told here and blah, blah, blah. And then about 2 hours after I get home, I sit there and go, okay, what could I have done better? Be blah, 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 blah. And then the next day I wake up and go, okay, any final thoughts? And then I just wash it away. Pauly Shore is a good egg, man. He's always nice to me. His brothers, Peter and Scotty, they're businessmen, so we don't really have a friendship level relationship, but they're nice. Um, I mean, I just remember, and it's usually the next day is when I go, okay, if I thought I bombed, like sometimes I think I'm bombing when I'm on stage. I'm analyzing, going, fuck. And then 2 hours later, I'll go, it wasn't that bad. And then the next day, I'll be like, okay, I couldn't have done much better. Days with Jordan the Lion. When are you moving to Austin? Never, man. I will never move to Austin. I am a student of the game. Um, no, I don't get the Road Warriors pop every time, to be honest with you. But I do walk out to singing Living After Midnight by Judas Priest. That usually gets the crowd going. I mean, most of the time they're clapping. I took the city around at 1 a.m. I was loaded. Come on, loaded. I'm all geared up to start again. Loaded, loaded. I come alive in the neon lights. That's when I make my moves at night, living after midnight. You get the picture. Uh, yeah, sometimes the stripers. I do have a funny striper story. Like when my friend Brent Fitz was drumming for Vince Neil. And I think we're at the Anaheim House of Blues and backstage afterwards, and everyone's, milling about. And then I see Robert Sweet, the drummer from Striper, and he was like a really good looking dude. And I walked up to him, and my Brent introduces me to him. I'm like, "Oh man, you're my favorite drummer." And I don't want to freak you out or nothing, but I always wanted to fuck you until I found out you were a dude. And he didn't laugh, to be honest with you. Now let's not get into fire and earthquake insurance. I have insurance. I have homeowners insurance. I mean, he was a good-looking guy, to be honest with you. Rob Halford is a goo gobbler. We don't talk like that in here. We don't make fun of Rob Halford in here. You're gonna have to go to the Eddie Trunk Power Hour for that. We're a nice, friendly family stream in here. We don't talk about Rob Halford taking loads backstage, just getting hammered with jizz. We don't do that in here. Um, that's so gay, Earl. I know. I mean, tell me about it. How do you think Halford felt? He's the one doing all the stuff, just getting his booty just blasted. Like, if that fan base knew that he was gay back then, there would have been riots in the streets. Because that fan base, the Judas Priest fan base in the mid '80s, pretty homophobic. But and by the way, shout out to Paul Rubens for coming out of the coffin. I guess. Hello, boing. That's a new joke. I just wrote that shit. Um, so I'm one episode into the OJ documentary. There's really not a lot that I didn't know. Like I don't. I mean, we get it. The guy killed two people. I don't think we need another documentary about it. Um, well, it's only gay if you enjoy it. Boing. We also don't talk about people that he may have molested against their will. Not Pee Wee. Rob. Are you talking about Randy Stone? Hello. 100%. I think OJ did it. I mean, I mean, come on, man. I mean, blood was everywhere, but in his own body. He got a cut on his finger. You know why? I don't. You see these hands? There's not a cut on my finger because I just didn't kill two people. Um, I mean, there was like some, uh, probably the thing that I've heard about it, but I've heard the least about the girl who saw him on Bundy and San Vicente at the light, um, and he like flipped her off because he was coming back from the murder scene, and I guess she wasn't a witness because she had been paid by hard copy for her interview. So Marsha Clark didn't want to use her. I mean, that's really about the only new thing I heard. I mean, I just think he's guilty, to be honest with you. I mean, he acted guilty after the fact. I'm going to search for the real fucking killers, but yet he was playing golf every day. What do you think the real killers were on the eighth hole at Pinmore? Um, so it was shipping. Yeah, but come on, man. The night his wife is butchered to death, he has a cut on his hand. You think that's a coinky dink? Chipping balls in a hotel room. Um, yeah, hard copy. William, we got a hat trick in the mod department. And this was a crime of passion. Whoever killed Nicole and Ron, especially Nicole, they wanted her to feel it. This was not just some random like drug deal gone bad. Drug dealers don't kill you because they know that as soon as they kill you, there goes their money, honey. And I have a friend of mine I played hockey with. He was an Orange County sheriff, but he was on the scene, and he saw the autopsy photos, and his face turned white when he was talking about them. And this guy, a 6'4", 250, macho to the hilt, and he could barely talk about them 10 years later. So, I think that, I mean, this was a crime of evil and hatred. And, I think, has it ever been the kind of runs? That's what people think. Even though the kids were in the house, I think they say what set OJ off was he was snooping around, looking through the windows and shit, and he saw candles being lit, and that was, I guess, Nicole's call sign. As most girls, when you are putting candles and you're wearing a black lingerie, that's time to go to Pound Town. And I think that's what, to me, in my opinion, that's what set OJ off. And then he waits for the whoever is coming over. Ron Goldman comes over to just deliver the glasses, or maybe to have sex with Nicole. They've never really gotten into that. I mean, he was a good-looking guy, young guy, and Nicole was probably sick of porking OJ. I mean, OJ strikes me as probably a pretty lazy lover. Fantastic double murderer, though. And did you know him? No, I did not know Ron Goldman from the Shelby orgy. And then, well, I mean, I think they are, William. I mean, when a girl is laying out candles, like she's gonna get porked, and maybe that was the cue. Now we're just guessing now, talking about this, but maybe her leaving the glasses was the cue to, hey, Ron, slide over, to my place under the guise of delivering the glasses, and we can take care of business. Um, you mean, yeah, Robert? I'd rather hear about Jeff Ross or stuff. We don't. Well, you got to pay $100 for that, Moses. See, OJ's free talk. Yeah, 100% Kardashian. He was like, oh fuck. By the way, Russell Peters' house is Robert Kardashian's old house. Um, I mean, OJ just strikes me as you're gonna make me come, and then that's it. So I'm sure Nicole enjoyed Ron, who was probably psyched to be banging this hot blonde. And, when a girl's checking out of a relationship, she's horned up. And that hurts me to say that. At least talk about seeing him at the country club when you were young. The murder's better, Moses. Moses, come back for 5 minutes. I don't want you to leave, but just come back for 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. Yeah, Flames aren't, I mean, big win for the Kings last night against Carolina. Teams are starting to make trades now. Dallas made a trade to get Granlund. Obviously Rantanen this week in Carolina. So, um, the Kings, they got to add some scoring, man. I mean, last night was I don't know what you would call it, not a tipping point, but last night was just kind of a rare 4-goal outburst. Yeah, Brad's a good trade for the Flames. What were you doing to the slow? It's funny. I'll never. It's like people say, "Do you remember where you were in 9/11?" I absolutely remember where I was. The slow speed chase. It was a Friday. Me and my buddy Herc, who was a buddy of mine from Family Fitness Center. We were seeing the Jack Nicholson movie Wolf at the Hollywood Panorama Dome. And I remember, we didn't know what was going on. So the movie ends, and then like the whole city was like, oh my God, get to a TV. You guys, you got to go home. OJ's running and he's going to kill himself. And like, so I remember, I think Herc asked me for a ride home. I'm like, hey, take a cab, baby. I got to get home to watch the telly. My Lightning need another D-man. We can score, but we struggle defensively. Vassy can only do so much. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of defensemen out there. Kings need scoring, Lightning need defense. The Golden Knights will do something before the trade deadline, and it's going to be a very interesting. I agree with that, William Zoom. I mean, I've seen the devastation of family members murdered. And I'm not really close to the Kennedy family, but I know some in the Skakel family, since Ethel really was a Skakel, really much more a Skakel than a Kennedy. You never get over it. So I don't blame the dad for like never letting go of the anger. You know how infuriating that must have been to see OJ playing fucking golf and out with pussy that looked like Nicole, and um, so you know, just I don't think that the anger and the flaunting almost of hiding the money, even when he got convicted in the civil trial, he didn't pay shit. Um, Lindgren, yeah, I don't think the Rangers would ever trade Lindgren to Tampa. Unless it was like a three-way trade where Lindgren got traded to the Kings, and then the Kings traded Lindgren to Tampa. Lindgren is a tough, tough dude. So I think there's going to be a lot of trades before this week, before the Four Nations tournament, because Carolina and Colorado set the standard of, hey, we're not waiting for 3 weeks. We want to do this trade now. Oh, of course he hid assets. I mean, how is the guy living in $1 million home in Florida when he has no income other than signing deflated footballs in prison? Um, oh, I thought you were going to say Ray Caruth. What do you think of the two other double murders? I didn't know Ray Lewis was a double murderer. Um, and Aaron Hernandez, I mean, listen, a lot of these, I think in Aaron Hernandez's case, he's just a bad dude. And I also think he suffered from CTE. And, when you're a bad person and you get CTE, that's a recipe for disaster, man. So, um, I think that you look at a lot of these, the NFL players that hit their wives, and, Ray Caruth killed his wife. Yeah, I didn't think Ray Lewis actually did the murder. I mean, I still think he's a scummy guy, but like, he wasn't convicted. So, you go on the American legal system of he's innocent. Um, Aaron Hernandez, I think there was a preponderance of the evidence. So, I mean, sadly, these guys won't be the last. Um, but it is just weird to see Netflix devote an, I think it's a 4-part episode. OJ, um, and they do interview some of his attorneys. It's not like a total slam piece, uh, against OJ, but it's not exactly, even Carl Douglas, he tried to get me to sit and coach one night. I was flying. I think I was going to my mom's funeral. I remember it was a nighttime flight, and Johnny Cochran was in first, and I'm sitting next to Johnny Cochran. And then Carl Douglas, he's the black lawyer with the bad skin. Uh, Him and Johnny Cochran are like, hey, we got to work on something. Would you mind sitting in, coach, so we could sit up here? I'm like, I do, actually. I'm going to my mom's funeral. Into discussion. And then they didn't say another word to me. But it was just kind of creepy sitting next to Johnny Cochran. Heating up a hot dog. I got a hot dog for you. Ashy skin. You guys are talking amongst yourselves right now. I don't know what on earth you guys are speaking of. But that's the beauty of the Earlverse. You guys can talk amongst yourselves and just keep it clean. Keep it clean. That's all I ask. I don't ask you guys for much. I really don't. I'm a comedy soldier. Well, I do ask you guys for a little bit. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, watch all the shorts. And I also do this when someone asks me a question, I answer it. Lois is passed out right now, sleeping. I took her for about a 2-hour walk today, and she's doing pretty good. Um, you know, I'm looking into some new medicine for her cough. But seeing that the cough is related to the collapsed trachea, I don't think better skin Robert Davi or Edward Olmos. That's a tough one, man. It's pretty even. Now I'll turn the light on just so you guys can get a. There we go. So, man, that is crazy. Yeah, I mean, well, I'll say that. I will say that the one thing I didn't know about was when they were interviewing Furman in episode one, and there was a bloody fingerprint on the back gate, the door handle. That seems like it should have been in evidence. I mean, I'm no lawyer, but there does seem to be a lot of, I just think the court, this murder took everyone by surprise. Yeah, it looked like a perfect print. Like, holy fuck, man. I can't believe that wasn't. I mean, Mark Furman, racist, but by all accounts, he was a good detective. So, but I never bought into the defense's theory that the cops framed OJ because cops out here, and I'm sure cops everywhere. Most of them, not all, but most of them played football, high school, some college, maybe one or two got to the pros, and especially in '94, those people idolized OJ. So there's no way they're gonna get to the fucking crime scene and in the middle of the night go, okay, you drop the blood over here, you drop the blood over there. He was loved. I mean, what? How many domestic? I think there was 21 domestic violence calls to his house. He was never arrested once. Trust me, if that's me or Zoom or ACDC or Rudy Baga or Jordan or Queen on, we're arrested at the minimum after this, maybe 2 times we would get. Felicia Gillespie is doing an all-nighter stream. She wants guests. Go on. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm gonna go to the gym after this. I'm done making other people's streams good. What do I love Felicia, don't get me wrong, but I'm done helping people. Like, someone help me. Cops love football, especially in LA. Most of the cops, aren't from great neighborhoods. It's not like most cops are from Beverly Hills. They're from like, the ghetto and rough parts of LA. So OJ to a 25-year-old cop, 35-year-old cop was a god. There's no way they got together with the lab techs in the coroner's office and said, let's get him. MLC is over. No, I don't do guests, Dominic. I don't do guests. Because then we're going to talk about the fucking Dabbleverse. I'd rather talk about OJ. I mean, the defense killed it. Like, pardon the expression of killing it, but the defense, was the perfect defense, man. And one day you're gonna say I'm done with wiping my ass. I'm over it. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Moses. To be honest with you. And really, F. Lee Bailey won the case for them. A lot of people think it was Johnny Cochran with "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." But here's my thing: you could still kill someone if the glove's a little snug. And I think when F. Lee Bailey really cornered Furman on the N-word and said, "You've never said it before, so are you saying you've never called a group of African Americans as or GERS?" And Furman was like, "Nope." And then they hit the tape, and that trial was over. And it sucks because by all accounts, Furman was a great detective, but he blew it. And then, I don't think they should get it. They could have walked out of the house. They didn't have to kill them. It's and there's they could have reached out, said, "Hey, my pick, gone to the Beverly Hills Police Department. It's literally less than a mile from Elm Drive, where they are. Where the Beverly Hills Police Department is, and say, hey, I understand. I've never been molested before, but there's a better way than to blast their fucking heads off. And you look at how they spend all the money and the cars and the Rolexes. That reeks of like an insurance scam. So what about tariffs? Well, I mean, I do think countries should pay their fair share. Um, why does the US have to fucking be I mean, I know we're the leader of the free world, but why do we have to take on everyone's struggles when no one helps us? You think Ukraine is giving us money for the fires? Fuck no. Didn't you know them, Earl? I mean, we weren't like best friends. I mean, Beverly Hills and Bel Air kids, we all went to the same places. So I knew them in passing. We go to the same country clubs, we go to the same bars, the same nightclubs, the same gyms. It's like I know the Winklevoss twins, but I go, what's up? But I wouldn't say I'm friends with them. Joe Kennedy made good money smuggling whiskey. Um, yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. He was a bootlegger. Who would legit kick your ass at the Comedy Store? Well, Rogan, absolutely. I mean, Rogan probably could have been an MMA fighter to some level. All good, Dominic. All good. Let me see. Outside of Rogan, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a great fighter, but it depends on the situation. Like if I saw someone, kick Lois, I'd legit be in jail for murder. If I saw certain people who I believe did certain things in my past, I would kill them. I literally, if but if you're just talking about comics, I mean, comics aren't great fighters. Um, I mean, I don't really count Eddie Bravo as a comic, but Eddie Bravo would kill me. Um, will Rated R Cope be the next champ? I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling that storyline right now. Um, Omega and Osprey's a tag. That'd be cool. Um, yeah, 100%. I mean, I understand, right? We're the number one nation on earth, but like sometimes it would be nice if nations gave us some money. Like, hey, your fucking whole state burned up. Here's a couple bucks. Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so. Where's Malachi Black? He kind of disappeared. I'd like to see Buddy Matthews on a run, singles run. By the way, I almost went to see Brody King tonight. He's playing in Los Angeles, his hardcore band. But I hear those shows get pretty nuts, so I didn't quite make it. Well, you know, in terms of going back to the OJ stuff, like the defense basically said someone from the coroner's office, you know, took out some blood and went around dropping blood everywhere to make it look like OJ, um, blood everywhere. I just don't think that happened. Are there dirty cops? Yeah, 100%. But I don't, like I said, cops loved OJ. Like the second, third, fourth, and fifth chances he got, when his domestic violence shit happened, it's unparalleled. So, I'll always in my heart believe, and who writes a book called If I Did It? Like, if I'm accused of murder, I'm not going to, and I get off, I'm not going to, hey, you know what? To prove my innocence, I'm going to write a book on how I did the murders. I mean, if I did the murders. Like, what? Were you out there protesting? No, no. I was walking Lois for 2 hours. Earl, where were you during the 92 riots? I was living in the Fay Ray building, Century Park East and Olympic. And my good buddy, Michael D. DeGorio, gave me my Rambo knife because he was a writer for Soldier of Fortune. And he gave me a weapon of choice, saying, take this in case they get to you. And I still have it. He pulled a knife on a reporter as a joke. OJ was crazy. Yes, 100% OJ was crazy. Do you think Steve Austin acknowledges any guilt whatsoever about what he did to Piper? I mean, probably not. I mean, those old school guys, they didn't like each other. It's just, there's no harm in not liking each other. You think I like every comic, but I don't think that he realized, there's enough cake to eat in the podcast world. I mean, Stone Cold makes a lot of money on his podcast. Roddy was making a fair amount of money on his podcast. They both could have continued. Um, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think he blocked me because I was like, bro, your gimmick was smashing a beer can and drinking it. Like, get a fucking sense of humor. Like, come on, it's pro wrestling. It's ridiculous. But, what are you going to do? I mean, these guys, numerous headshots and operations, they they don't really have a great sense of humor. I mean, Roddy had a great sense of humor. Jim Cornette, although he's not a wrestler, he had a great sense of humor. Um, Steve's, yeah, I mean, but but that's why Steve was mad because of Will Sasso's impression, and I could understand if he hit on the domestic violence shit. That's kind of crossing a line. But even though it was true, it's still, you didn't have to do that. And he didn't. Will Sasso's like the nicest fucking dude I've ever met in my life. So I really don't think, the grudge he held towards Roddy. And that's just what I know of. Maybe Roddy did something to him legit. I don't know. I mean, I was pretty good friends with Roddy, so I think he would have told me. But, um, Stone Cold really seems to be harboring a grudge toward him. OJ knew the profits from the book would go to the victim's family. It was a narcissistic troll, in my opinion. Um, I don't know. I mean, but it's just like, it would be like if I wrote a book called If I Threw Her Down a Flight of Stairs. Hello. I mean, I pushed her up the flight of stairs. I didn't push her down. Boing. Yeah, Will Sasso, spot on. Him and Karrion Kross. Um, Bigger wrestling man. I mean, well, we're both from different eras. All three of us are from different eras. Like I'm a old school NWA, world class championship wrestling guy. Will Sasso's probably that generation after that, and then Tony's probably a Cena mark. So you got a bug in your hair. You got Tom. You got to come up with some new material, dude. Like that's like the oldest joke done on here. I mean, did you write on the last season of Undateable? Come on now, do better. Um, I remember the first time someone told me that, I was like, oh my god. I got a bug for you, Tommy. So is that Tommy, the talent coordinator from the Comedy Store? Old school. What up, Mark Linder? I'm a little tired because last night was a long night, to be honest with you, but I'm soldiering through it for you guys. 100% Dominic. Dominic, you're a real rising star in the Earlverse chat. A lot of people ask me, who is Dominic? And yeah, where is Bert Perkins? After the $300 super chat night, he's been MIA. He's been off the grid. So, why didn't you help Steve Gutenberg save people in the Palisades? That was my favorite part of the fires when the news reporter looks at Steve Gutenberg and goes, "Who are you? Are you an actor? Beat it." Did Leslie show up and bump you? No. Thank God Leslie did not show up last night. I had a couple people there to see me last night, so they had a good time. And then we went to, was it the Body Shop? Because my buddy, who I haven't seen in a while, he was friends with someone from my past. we went out to the body shop after, and he loves places like that. I'm like, bro, I gotta go. I did one lap. I saw Pauly Shore over there. I said, I gots to go, man. Yeah, but I get why Bret Hart was bitter. They fucked him over. He holds on to it. I get it, man. But I also think Bret Hart's like, bro, you're not the best wrestler of all time. It's fake. It's predetermined. Now the injuries are tough. It's not fake from the physical realm, but it's like, bro, it's predetermined. You're the best ever because the writers made you the best ever. It's like Ric Flair's the 16-time champ because the writers wrote it that way. So I think he kind of got that stone cold vibe of taking it so fucking seriously. And it's just like, come on, where's Shelley Long at now? I don't know. That's an interesting question. Well, I mean, Brett was actually trying to wrestle, and it's just like he was a little stiff on the mic. Kind of one note with the best there ever was, the best there ever will be. I mean, he was an athletic marvel for sure, but whoa, what's going on? I'm getting an ESPN update here. The future is here for the Lakers. Yeah, I guess a big trade in basketball. I don't really get it. I mean, it kind of seems like a wash. Luka for Anthony Davis. If someone can explain that trade to me, I don't see how it really helps the Lakers. You're getting rid of someone, and you are. I don't know. I mean, I don't. But I'm not a huge basketball guy, so NBA Carney shit. Well, I mean, it's like the Kings right now are in need of goal scoring, and everyone is saying trade these two particular players. But it's like, okay, you trade those guys, you're going to lose their production. So whatever you get back is just kind of a wash. And that's what this trade seems to be. The Lakers still don't have a big man. So we'll see. Bret Hart in WCW was past his prime. But he still could have had a few good matches, but then Goldberg almost fucking killed him. So, I mean, but he was a green, just fucking powerlifting football freak. So, I did watch a video on how William Regal stretched him in a 6-minute match. Like, okay, you think you're a badass? Just get out of some of my holes, you bald bastard. Does Jay Moore get you free Laker tickets? I don't play the Ice House, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think Goldberg was really in on the gimmick of wrestling. Like, I think he really thought, all right, this is really a physical contest to see who can kick ass. It's like, no, it's not, you dumb fuck. I mean, he was Jewish. I thought his finishing move should have been the quarterback. Hello. Ron Perlman ate 6 chicken pot pies. I don't know what that has to do with anything we're talking about, but I appreciate your endorsement. Are you watching these RVD videos calling out getting ripped off by Bobby Fulton? Oh, no, I have not. Bobby Fulton, there's a name I haven't heard in a minute. Does he sign to AEW too? I mean, I wouldn't put it past Tony Khan. Earl, they're just not after a good enough 3-point shot to stay and to play. I mean, listen, I like the Ice House. I've played it once since it's reopened. I had a great set. I mean, I was doing, I'm going to get my energy drink so I can power through these next 15 minutes. Time out. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk about Ray DeVito, whatever. No one really cares about playing the Ice House. I mean, I the last set I had there now, in fairness to the booker now, who I know, The last time I played there, fucking the booker was a WNBA player who didn't know who Tom Segura was. So that's what I'm dealing with. And the show I was on, everyone's bombing. People being lazy. One comic brought up their notes. She's just reading from her notes, bombing. I had to follow her, and I rarely kill, but this night I was in not a great room. I was killing. I mean, I was doing so well that at one point all the employees came in and sat down. It was kind of like, who is this guy? He should be up here more often. And then I brought up Craig Robinson, and he always kills. And I walked right past the booker, and she doesn't even say, "Hey, good job. Hey, what's your name? Do you want to come back?" And okay, great. This is a Nimeth Brothers hoodie, and no, this is my favorite energy drink. Rockstar. I mean, Tom Segura is a huge headliner. So like I love Kevin, I respect Kevin a lot as a comic, but like I don't think you can sit there and say Tom Segura is a middle act. Iceberg was one heck of a wrestler in his prime. Torrin gets it. He gets it. What did you do with all that Pert Plus money? I invested it in the stream. Are Earth Girls easy? Really? Hello. I mean, the strippers last night, man. I mean, I'll give the body shop this. There seemed to be a 3-to-1 ratio, strippers to guys, but they look so sad, man. One girl came up to me and asked me, she was like, doing, oh, you're so cute, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, honey, I'm gay. I love weenie. And she turned around. Well, I mean, I don't know about that, Rudy. I mean, I'm sure he was a middle act in the 80s. And Bert, I remember Bert was doing like one-line scenes in The Shield. So, I mean, listen, when you're playing arenas, you're a good comic. Like, you don't fool that many people. I mean, this was a pretty wild crowd last night. Now, the guy I was with, he was an old friend of a friend's character. Uh, so it was weird hanging out with him because I only knew him through her. But let's just say he took my side. Um, yes, Ryan is a great man. I don't know who Jamie is. I mean, Moses, you can't say. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to tell you who you should think is funny, but when you're filling arenas with people who are laughing, you're a little funny. Morgan Fairchild, damn, that's we're really we gonna talk about The Last Seduction? Wasn't she in that with Andrew Stevens? I mean, I don't think Dice Clay or Eddie Murphy's uh, status has anything to do with Tom, and he hits that middle America kind of that heavy. He looks like a fucking farmer, and people like that shit. Um, yeah, but Brendan Schaub was never filling arenas. Trust me on that one. You can fool enough people to get into a comedy club. Comedy club seats 200 people. You can just get your fan base in there. You just get people who like Rogan. And Schaub also had the push of Rogan, a gigantic push from Rogan. Um, I've heard the name, but don't know who he is. Um, the standard of headline comedian is, yeah, but everyone's a middle act at some point. I mean, like I headline now, but 5, 6 years ago, I was featuring. Does that mean I'm a shitty comic? Oh, 100%. I mean, I find what Dice did more impressive than Dane Cook, Matt Rife. Dane, Matt, and Dalia, they were social media darlings. Dice Clay, there was no social media. You had to hit the fucking pavement. I mean, when you're as famous as Eddie Murphy, the fuck would you want to do stand up again? Like when you have the opportunity, even if you make a shitty movie, Eddie Murphy's getting $5 million. You ain't gonna get $5 million doing stand up. I mean, you might if you go on like a year long tour, but like You don't want to do that shit. I think the point is that you had to be really fucking good in the 80s to sell arenas, and nowadays you have to be just as good as Tom Segura. I mean, it's a valid point. Or you have to have a social media following. I mean, look at the Kill Tony comics. I would agree with you when you're talking about like Kill Tony comics, who are headlining only because they have X amount of followers. Um, True, but even Jerry Seinfeld went back and did stand up. Yeah, but he's a comic. He doesn't act. So, that's why, Rob Schneider went back to stand up and he was acting a lot. Because Rob started off as a comic. But Jerry Seinfeld, he's pretty much a straight comic. He's not I mean, he might be in commercials a little bit, but, he's not in movies. He's not in TV shows anymore. Um, so, yeah, I think Seinfeld is probably more of a comic than any comic working right now, from the standpoint of he still writes jokes every day. He does the sentence structure. There's no wasted verbiage in his jokes. Leno goes to the Hermosa Magic Club every Sunday, I think, and does like dirty jokes, like dirty for Leno. We'll go another 8 minutes, guys. So, and then you have some people who are big comics now who probably in 5 years won't be doing it. I like Rob Schneider. He's a good dude. I like him. He was good to me. Yeah, I mean, Seinfeld is like the Tony Gwynn of, how Tony Gwynn like studied pitchers and had pie charts and, what this guy would throw on a 3-2 pitch late in the game versus early in the game. Seinfeld's like that with stand up. We don't do jokes in here. You have to super chat me to get your joke read. Sorry, it's just the way it works, baby doll. So Murphy should still, he should do it if he likes it. I'm just questioning, if he wants to put in the work. Because even as great as Eddie Murphy is as a comic, he hasn't done it in a while, and it's going to be rusty. Does he want to go? Like Bill Burr is constantly working on jokes. He's constantly doing guest spots, because he's Bill Burr is probably the closest thing to Seinfeld in terms of the art. He's always going up. He'll show up at an open mic and say, "Hey, can I go up for 5 minutes?" Bring back Patrice. He was gold. If we could. So, I mean, I see Sandler every now and then at the Comedy Store. I mean, I think he's one of those guys who, he's a performer. He likes getting up in front of people. It's a fucking drug. Would you consider Adam Sandler? I would consider him a performer. I didn't know about that. I'd say Ray DeVito is the next Seinfeld. All right, Dominic, you're going to have to be put in timeout for that. Can we put Dominic in a 60-second timeout for that? Just 60 seconds, 1 minute. And where's the Chicken Man, Peter Brennan? Was he at the Comedy Store today for Ken Flore's funeral? Ever see a celebrity people think is hot, but you see her up close and you're like, not so much? I mean, sorry, Dominic, it's just, come on. Sandler, I think Sandler was a performer. I don't think Sandler did songs. When I think of a comic, I think of Stephen Wright sitting there doing jokes. But that's just my version of what a comic is. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's two of us. What do you think of? I don't know a lot about him, Krispy Kreme. I mean, I know people are trying to get me on his podcast. I mean, he seems to be a bit of a provocateur. I know he had that awkward interview with David Lucas, and Sam Tripoli was just on his show. And I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike him, but, to be honest with you, I don't really know a lot about him. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to do a show if he had Callan on. I mean, Callan, I don't know, man. People see, I mean, he's charming, so, I don't want to be on any show that Callan's on. It's like, have some fucking respect. Did you ever push for someone to get into stand up like Callan did with Shab? Not really. Um, I mean, I told people, hey, you're funny, you should do it, but I wouldn't say like I made calls. Um, Callan played along. He got it. I don't know if he did get it. Um, oh, you mean Maton? I mean, well, see, I'm good with that. It's like when I went on Jesse Lee Peterson, before the show, he had sent me an interview he did with Jamie Kennedy. He's like, watch this so you know what you're walking into. And I didn't because I'm better off the cuff. I'm better like figuring it out on the fly. So I would do that if Maton had me on a show. I'd be like, let me, if this guy's trolling me, I'll troll him back. If he's nice to me, I'll be nice to him back. If he's a dick, I'll be a dick back to him. Um, so yes, check out the Inappropriate Earl podcast. We got about 5 more minutes, guys. I always listen to Michael Richards' sets in February. Hello. All right, Dominic's back. Dominic is back. I apologize, Dominic, for putting you in a 60-second timeout. Barry Ribs is going to beg this year. I think he's begging already, bro. Yes, follow me on social media. Are you better with handling, and you're better with handling hecklers than Michael Richards? I would hope so. I mean, Jesus Christ. That was pretty rough to watch. But, once again, he's a comic actor. I've been on film and TV sets. There's a quiet level that's unheard of. When you're doing your lines, and especially on a sitcom like Seinfeld, it's all set up for someone to get the laugh. So, okay, Jerry's going to say this line. Michael, you're going to walk in the door and go, whoa, and then the applause light pumps on to the audience, and they laugh. But stand-up's the complete opposite of that. You say your line, you may hear dead fucking silence or get a standing ovation. Have you ever met John Mayer at the Comedy Store? I have met John Mayer. He's, nice guy. The only really John Mayer story I have is, I had gone on and then somehow he wormed his way on stage. I think Jeff Ross probably pulled a favor and, he was trying to do stand-up. And it's not his thing, so he wasn't very funny, to be frank. I mean, he's pretty to look at, but, he wasn't really the funniest. So afterwards, we're all kind of hanging out, and I think he, I don't know what he knew about me, but I think he saw that I was kind of an elder statesman up there, and he's like, Earl, what did you think of my act? I'm like, do you want me to be honest? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, how would you feel if I interrupted one of your concerts and played shitty guitar? And then he kind of was like, what's up? Except in stand-up, you get to repeat the joke to death for 5 years. TV is one shot. 100%, but my point, Jordan, was a live, unscripted, comedy is live and unscripted. And he had no clue what to do with those hecklers. And he could have gotten out of it so easy. Because I've said this before, when you're getting heckled, the key is to let the audience know you're getting heckled. Because at the Laugh Factory, there's an upstairs balcony. So, it's a relatively big room. It's not like as big as the main room, but it's a pretty big room. So he should have said something to the effect of, what's that, guys? You're sitting in the fucking cheap seats, you cheap fucks. I can't hear you. And then the whole crowd knows that there's a disturbance up there. But he just jumped on those guys. And it wasn't so much the N-word, to be honest with you. It was the monkey hanging from the tree line, because that line came from the heart. That wasn't just something that rolled off the tip of his tongue. That came from here and here. So that's what I think really got him into trouble, in my opinion. Well, we don't talk about Eso Doan here. I deleted his emails, just in case there's a paper trail. I don't know who Jerry Babe Howard is, to be honest with you. I'm not making fun of him. I don't know who that is. Longmont Potion Castle. I don't know what that is either. I mean, yeah, but that was the line I think that really, because you could have spun it where, he said the N-word. He was just scared because it was a black audience and he was doing shtick. He's trying to do an Archie Bunker thing. It just didn't work. And then, okay, he'd be forgiven after a few weeks. But, that line is so specific. And I forget the exact line, but it was something like, you guys look like monkeys hanging from a tree up there. I mean, that's just like, yowza, yowza, yowza. Maybe I thought that said Bolivia's name. Oliver Tree was there with a pet monkey. Well, maybe. I think people just cheer for a downfall. Oh, 100%. Richards repeated the N word. 100%. No, I disagree, Turn. That was part of the issue, but I think the big issue was the monkey line because it was just like so like, huh? Did you just say that too? That was like the exclamation point. Earl, are you going to I might go to M3 to see Rat and Piercy. But if they're going to play all around the country, I might just wait till they hit like an LA show. I mean, like I'm sure Piercy and DeMartini would hit the whiskey. And it's a good band. You've got Matt Thorne on bass. He played in early versions of Mickey Rat. He also was in Rough Cut. You've got Blas Elias from Slaughter, and who is I think I don't know who. I think Carlos Cavazo. So it's like pretty good lineup. It ain't Rat, but they don't like Blotzer. They don't like the bouncing beaner Juan Crochet. So that band has sued each other. At one point, Piercy got kicked out of Rat, and he lost the rights to the name. He founded the fucking band. So that shows you how wackadoon that band is. That would be like me losing the rights to the Earlverse, huh? Caught on VHS, the first canceled comic. I don't know what you're talking about, Crispy. I like to play that set and the Mel Gibson phone call. And then why don't you double down and as a palate cleanser, play the Hulk Hogan talking to his daughter. Boing! About 2-3 more minutes, guys. Hit the like button. Let's get to 30 likes, bitch. Okay. I see what you're saying. William Zoom, I probably will get fucked over in the Earlverse at some point. So, William Zoom, it's a heel turn. Or Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, thank you, Ryan, for hitting the like button. I know, I think we have a bunch of OG subscribers in here. Not any trolls in here tonight, really. So that's always nice. More added to Janelle Grant's lawsuit. Oh, really? Are you being serious, Jordan? 3 plates, Tommy. What am I supposed to tell my parole officer now? Why don't you tell him to suck his pee-pee? The great Tommy 3 plates. Well, Gene Simmons also trademarked the dollar sign, which I didn't think was humanly possible, but he's out of control, Gene. I'll do it just for you. EA Sports. It's in the game. That guy's probably making some money. The money, honey. Michael Ironside is underrated. He was so good in Top Gun. He's my favorite. No, I'm not going to buy 50 likes. So, I'm out of that business. I loved him in Top Gun. He didn't have the most scenes, but that one scene where Ironside and Tom Skerritt are talking about Maverick, it's like, man, these are just 2 old school actors. Dominic $1.99. Thank you very much, Dominic. You are a good soldier. Well, I saw some report that there was plans for O.J. Simpson to wrestle Rowdy Roddy Piper at a WrestleMania, and thankfully that did not happen. My favorite Michael Ironside role is Top Gun. Even though he wasn't in it a tremendous amount, he really did walk, talk, and look like a drill sergeant. Oh my God. Am I going to live stream Kill Kevin this Saturday night? Not really. I don't do the super snipes. By the way, this is breaking news. I'm hearing Chris D'Elia was at the Comedy Store today for Ken Flora's funeral. So interesting, I thought. Sean Connery and Daniel Craig are the only. I disagree. Them's fighting words, Krispy Kreme, because I'm a Roger Moore man. Do you think Buster Douglas still has money? Probably not. I mean, he got paid for the original Tyson fight. I think he only got like $500,000. Now for the Holyfield fight, he got $24 million. So you got to figure taxes knocks that down to, let's say, $16 million. And then a manager takes 10%, publicist takes, all those publicists and agents, they probably take another 10%. So he probably walked home with $10 million. Now, that's a lot of money, no doubt about it. But you buy a house, you buy a couple cars, you start eating out every night. I mean, you could burn through 10 million and it doesn't seem possible, right? But you can. So, I wish more people talked about Buster Douglas. He was a great fighter before the Tyson fight. Nothing, and I don't know where he lives. Is it Louise? Is he from Ohio, right? Isn't he from Columbus or something? I don't know what the income tax laws are there. And Don King probably, Jesus, I mean, he'd be lucky if he had $5 million now that I think about it. Tanya Roberts, yes, I'll give that shout out. Is Emily going to let Mencia play the store now that D'Elia is back? No, I didn't say D'Elia was back. He's not going to be performing at the store, but I don't think Mencia will I don't think either one will be returning to the Comedy Store. Now, I didn't even think D'Elia knew Ken Flores, but I didn't even know who Ken Flores was. So, there's that. Don King, the original Jeff Ross, 100%. Everyone makes money on everyone's creative ideas. He played basketball in junior college, 6'4" power forward. I mean, probably my favorite thing, and I hate to give any love to the person who gave me this, but James Buster Douglas, Tyson KO, February 10th, 1990. The great James Buster Douglas. I remember I was watching that fight in my underwear in my apartment, number 1102, 321 South San Vicente. It's like the Black Rocky. Yes, shout out to Earl's Filthy Exes, They're alive and well. Where are they? Ooh, did I find out some good information last night? But, whoa. I'm not able to share the information with you guys right now at this moment in time. Let's just say, like this hoodie, the grass ain't always greener, baby dolls. No, we don't do. I'm out of the Kevin Brennan and Neil Brennan business. Yes, I can William Zoom. Me and William Zoom have an intimate relationship. William is so old school, he super chats me via the U.S. Postal Service. All right, I did 10 more extra minutes because I hit the goal tonight. When I started this stream 70 minutes ago, I'm saying I will give them another 10 minutes if I can get to $1.99. How about just info on Neil? I'm out of the Neil Brennan business. The Earlverse is about Earl Skakel trying to crack the YouTube algorithm. And like Stallone said to Donald Sutherland in Lock Up, you won't break me. So, We'll probably stream tomorrow night. Can't let YouTube collect a percentage off me. I'll buy that for $1. Um, so I love you all. I'm going to go to the gym and then I'm going to come back and watch episode 2 of the Orenthal James Simpson documentary on Netflix. And then what do I got planned this week? Nothing out of the ordinary. Probably a spot next Saturday at the Comedy Store. You should tell Felicia how to hit the algorithms with the vertical stream. I've done enough to help people. How about people tell me how to do something correctly? I'm selfish Earl from now on. We're all in it for ourselves. Buster made $27 million for his career. I mean, that's what he got paid on paper. But, when you figure taxes probably took at least 30% of that. And then unscrupulous managers, agents, promoters. I mean, William Zoom and I think, are in the money. I'd be surprised if he walked away with 5 to 10 million. And like I said, I used to live in a building with Steven Adler, the drummer from Guns N' Roses. I mean, Appetite for Destruction still sells probably worldwide 100 to 200,000 copies a year. Just teenagers who've never heard it before in every country on earth. And he was still broke. So, yes, Tanya Roberts. I do like Tanya Roberts. Great in A View to a Kill. The last, I believe, Roger Moore, James Bond. And then Timothy Dalton took over. What up, TB? TB, always a pleasure. Felicia is days away from parking her camper in front of Earl's condo. Well, it's permit parking only. But like I told her, I'm like, I would come fly with you and make sure you get through the desert okay, but I don't want to be a Dabbleverse storyline. And then people throw that to Pat. And I don't know Pat, but I don't do that to people. So Rick Bowe hid his money under the bed. Yeah, I mean, he was old school. Message held for review. Chicken Man Brennan, is this a bad time? You should send an early MLC Neil has AIDS t-shirt. Jesus, that's going hard. That's too hard for me. What am I, Sebastian Bach? Remember when Sebastian Bach had that shirt, AIDS kills dead? I mean, that's going a little too hard in the paint even for me. You guys could be Mickey and Maude. Knocks to the Dabbleverse. No, I'm out of the Dabbleverse business. I was never in it. What do you want me to turn this stream into talking about Steel Toe? Or Gino Bisconte and his bandana? All right, guys. Earl Skakel, over and out.